So good morning, this is where we've woken up. It's a big grass field. How adventurous of me. So basically, just got an invite from Tiny and a few other lads. I've not seen them for years. The whole COVID thing got in the way. So now that I've got the vehicle that can do some distance, it's one of them. It's only going to be a flying visit overnight, but for the 3 hours it took to get here, we can fly down listening to podcasts, we can fly up listening to podcasts. It's not a bad day out. So it's time to go get some breakfast now after the world's coldest, worst night's sleep. And yeah, let's get a brew.
You alright, Rich?
Morning.
How you going?
Not bad, young.
Yeah. I'll let go in more. Just go there.
So it's mid-morning now. I'm starting to regain humanity. Tiny's just chopping some wood up. We're going to get the stove on and get a little bit of breakfast cooked. I cannot believe that everyone was going to bed at 7, 8 o'clock last night. It's like as soon as it got dark, it's, I'm turning in. Stu left at 2. I think it was half 2, 3 o'clock?
Half 2.
Half 2.
Yeah. Started packing up at 2 and I think by the time you finished chatting to Stu for half hour, about 2:30. Yeah, good catch up.
So yeah, seeing everybody and really nice to see. There's a lot of faces I've not seen for years, to be fair. So I'm gonna have a little walk around some of the setups and stuff, and it looks like everybody. Is this like the Discovery 3 Owners Club campsite? This
is the new disco mate. Yeah. There's a lot of D3s and D4s here this week.
It seems to be D3s, D4s, and a bit of tentage on the side. That seems to be the bushcrafters' go-to for the social camps.
Yeah.
Which I find quite interesting because the Defenders now are turning into the expensive kind of show ponies.
Camp homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody's going for a bit more comfort, a bit more motorway miles, and things like this. Although they're all the bushcraft lads and they'll sleep in a tarp under a tree, when they come to a social in a field and stuff, they're all rocking Land Rovers, which I think a lot of the Overland lot now are going Toyota, vans, trucks, that kind of side, but these lot seem to be a bit more die-hard to the brand, if you know what I mean.
Green oval.
How many times you fixed your handbrake?
Twice.
This year.
No windscreen wipers. Even though I've changed the motor. Looked at the stalk, so it's an internal wiring fault, I think.
It's not like a Land Rover.
Nah, it's not a Land Rover if it don't break down.
Oh, an update after how long have I had the Sprinter now? Four and a half, 5 months.
5 months.
We've had a failure. We have had a failure. I will report. I will put my hands up. I said I'd be honest about this thing. I've got a headlight bulb out, so I'm a bit disappointed in that. I thought they'd be more reliable, these Mercedes.
Change the legislation and get LEDs.
Yeah. So if anybody knows of some nice aftermarket Mercedes Sprinter headlights, I don't like the factory headlights. I don't like the bulbs. I don't like the way they do it. After my work van's got the LED laser lights, and my Land Rover obviously has got the LED headlights. So to get in that, they're just like little amber dull things.
Dull.
Yeah, and I know I'm putting the spotlights on. I need something that I can actually drive around, you know, without blinding everybody. I've seen you can get some aftermarket ones. As far as I'm aware, there's one guy refitting it, but I've not heard the best things, so I'm a bit hesitant to go to him to rebuild them. So if anybody knows of an upgrade for the Mercedes-Benz headlights, let me know please, because this is all new to me. So here's one. Just this is a trial, and this will be going out to the Patreons if they're wanting the gear. I'm going to be doing generic hoodies anyway, but for the lads, I'm going to do an option of a little bit nicer ones. I don't know if you can see, totally fleece lined on the inside, which I thought for what we do out in the cold and all the rest of it, it's got the cuffs and everything. So if you're putting a jacket on or something like that, it's not all bunched up there and all horrible. And a big proper hood, not a little thing that you can't get over your head or something like that. And I'm 6'3" and 20 odd stone, so it is, you know, it's a good size. This is a 3XL. So yeah, let us know what you think. If it's something that people are interested in, obviously all this gear to start with will go through Patreon, because I can't do it to the masses. I can't. So please don't send me messages going, oh well, I'd like one, I'll buy one off you. I can only do it in small numbers to start with. When I get the logistics a bit sorted, there'll be more coming. There will be, I've got a lot of snapback hats coming, a lot of beanie hats coming. I will take them to shows, so if you do see me at shows, I'll have stickers and hats and all the rest of it. But to start with, I've got some stickers and hats to send out to Patreons, and then we're going to get a clothing order together. So yeah, let us know what you think, because it's this year. I do want to get a bit of branding out there, you know, get a bit of the logo out there. Fresh start, new editing, new van, new setup, new merchandise, and go from there. See if we can make something of this. Right, so a little impromptu video while we're down south. I wanted to have a look around Matt's setup, because there's been a progression from when I first met him, best part of a decade ago. He was running a Discovery. He got very basic setup in it. He was just getting into all this stuff, and he's progressed on where he's got multiple options, but he's got some real trick bits. What I want to show you on this video is basically some of the items, if you were getting into this and that you were starting this, the key things that we think that you should look at getting first before you start on anything else. And it's the 5 things that you spend a little bit more money on to make your life a lot better. So if you were going to list 5 items that you're going to get started with, what's your number 1?
5 items. Number 1. Bit of shelter.
Shelter, yeah.
Awning, tarp.
See, with the shelter, you can start with a 20 quid basher. You can start with a 10 quid blue tarp.
Plastic tarp
from B&Q. You can work up. You've got this one here. This has done you well, hasn't it?
It has.
What is it, about 2x2? 2x2.5?
2.5 by 2 by 1.9. Tough trek.
So nice little budget kind of starter one.
Yep.
It does the job. They're not overly strong, but so long as you know it's not overly strong, you're not going to expect too much from it, and you're not going to put it out in the wind. You can go up into the £2,000 mark, can't you, with some of these bat wings that open up, self-supporting. But as a beginner's one, I think this is a good...
It's a good starting point.
Yeah.
As I say, it's done me well. As I say, I started off with a basher, and then, you know, Tonka tarp, a bit more solid, poly cotton tarp, a couple of poles, plenty of guide ropes. Did me fine for a while, and then, you know, you just progress to this.
So shelter, number 1.
Shelter, number 1.
Number 2.
Number 2, cool box.
Yep.
In the warm months, you need something to keep your food chilled, your beers chilled. You know.
Keep the animals out of it as well.
Keep the animals out of it, yeah. You know, there's nothing worse than going around with a load of Tesco's or Sainsbury's carrier bags like I normally do.
I bollock him all the time on camera, throwing Tesco's carrier bags everywhere.
Yeah, you normally feel Sainsbury's bag.
Habit from cottaging, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes. But yeah, a decent cool box. I've gone for the Petromax 50.
That's something that's a bit of a...
A bit of everything.
Well, it's one of them things, people talk cool boxes down. But in reality, most people are only away for a weekend.
Yeah.
So, do you need to spend £1,000 on a fridge? I love my fridge, but for years and years and years, I had a cool box.
Yeah.
It was probably the best part of a decade before I got a fridge.
Cool box, couple of ice packs, or even going to Sainsbury's, Morrison's, other supermarkets available. A couple of bags of ice. Chuck them in the back.
Yeah.
You know, in the bottom. Yeah, they do melt. This cool box got a plug on the side so you can empty it out. But that will keep everything chilled and cold for about 7 days.
I would have one of those cool boxes, as expensive as they are, over a cheap fridge.
Yeah.
Because the cheap fridge isn't as well insulated. It's going to hammer your electricity. If you can't afford a decent fridge, the chances are you can't afford lithium batteries or the better electrical system. So, yeah, Petromax is that, from Outhouse.
Petromax from Outhouse, yeah, from Ollie.
So with that one, you get a cushion on the top of it, so it also makes it a seat. You can also have a, is it a chopping board or something?
It's like a cork board, like a working board, yeah.
Yeah, so a flat surface when you're out and about. You'll hear me bang on this a lot. Flat surfaces when you're camping.
Yeah.
It's
priceless.
It really is. You need flat surfaces, whether you're prepping stuff or just not losing stuff, because you put things on the floor or an uneven surface, it's gone. It's not too bad on a grass field like where we are today, but if you're in the woods or you're overlanding and you're going in a location every single night, things get lost. So flat surfaces. So we've got shelter, we've got cool box. Number 3.
Something to cook on.
Okay,
yeah. Keep you warm. Little stove. 2-ring burner, you can get them fairly cheap, small gas bottle.
And you were saying, and I 100% agree with this, do not get the gas cartridge ones.
No, you get the one in a little plastic box with a little 1-ring burner with the gas cartridges. They're prone to blowing up.
I've known someone have that one then blow up in the face.
I'm a lorry driver and I've seen some lorry drivers put them in the containers, you know, inside of the lockers, and wake up and bang.
Yeah, you put a big pan on one of them, the heat that goes up into the pan and then back down again, the parts fail. Once the parts fail, the gas all comes out, boom. And I've seen that, and it's a bit naughty. So,
but the other thing, like I say, something to cook on. A stove, fire pit, keeps you warm. Over, you know, chilly nights, but you can still barbecue.
With the stove, something to cook on. I'm massive into having multiples of that.
Yeah.
For different situations, for different camps. So, like this morning, you've got your jet boil. Made me a coffee on his jet boil. Fantastic bit of kit. If it's just in your bag, you can do your brews in it. You can do your boiling the bags in it. You can get an adapter for a pan. If you're going to get something similar to that, I know there's a few knockoffs and stuff, but that is a good quality item that's worth spending a little bit more money on. But you can get a cheap one to put you on.
You've got the Gilly or Kelly kettle. That's another good option.
That's an option
with a cooking kit.
But that's effort.
It is. As long as you've got dry wood.
That's something that's more of an event, I think. That's something. Yeah, you go out with the intentions of making a fire and enjoying the brew and enjoying the process of it.
Yeah.
It's not quick. It's not efficient. It's just nice.
I don't know. I mean, when I was in my off-roading days and greenlining days, we used to have competitions on who could get the kettle to burn the quickest.
Yep.
And I learned to hack McDonald's stirrers.
Yep.
Handful of hours, put them in, get it going straight away. And I always got a decent burn.
Yep.
Straight away. And then you get the little pot that you can put a fire in and cook on.
Yep.
Little frying pan. Okay, it's not the best, but if you want a bacon sandwich or a burger, out on the road, something quick.
I started with a Trangia.
Yeah.
That was my first one.
I've never been into Trangia.
I'm not a fan of it.
No.
It's just, I had it,
Yeah.
and it was from back in the days when everything was in my bag, and it was just the little fuel burner, and as you do, it came with a lot of pots and pans, and you automatically think you need loads of pots and pans and all this gear and all the rest of it. But what I would say is, start basic, like with the jet boil or something similar, or a little 2-burner stove off of a gas bottle, and it's quick, efficient. You want a brew, you've got one in under 2 minutes.
I mean, you can get those camping gas ones with a dual burner and a little toaster, flat pack in a little case with a gas bottle.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got to carry a gas bottle around with you. But for a camp on a table, 2 burners, bit of toast, scrambled egg and toast, baked beans on toast. You know, it's a meal. It's something to cook on, something to brew on.
Yep. So we've got a bit of shelter. We've got something to keep us food in. We've got something to cook us food in. What's number 4?
What is that?
Chair.
Chair.
A chair.
There's
and I've been on a
worse.
broken chair for 18 months until. Being fat lads, chairs, is finding one that'll stand up to you. And that is one thing that I found people, they'll carry around these cheap and nasty petrol station chairs, and if you weigh 7 stone, more power to you, and it probably will last you. But if you're of a larger frame like us, it costs you a sodding fortune to buy cheap all the time.
How many times do you sit around a campfire in one of those cheap chairs and you need to get comfortable, so you like that and your leg goes there, and of course your leg's putting pressure on that thing and it goes.
But, so yeah, it's one of them things where you will end up spending more money by spending cheap. And how much was it that I've got? That is it Oman Emu one.
You got the Oman Emu.
So I've got what's this one that you've got now?
This one is the Oz chair.
So you got the Oz chair, the Oman Emu one, and sit in a few chairs because they are different for different people. I'm not a fan of them because you're very much in the sides. It's nice to sit down and have a brew, but to sit and have a beer all night, that one's not for me.
So yeah, being a big person, nice chair. Okay, they're a bit expensive. You got a little table on the side, so you can bring it around and have a meal on. Put your phone on, put your drink on. But they are quite solid. I've recently purchased these chairs.
Yep.
And I got two for a deal. And they come in a case, and they are the front runner chair.
So these aren't the comfiest, however, as a guest chair,
and how they pack up
small
and go up into a bag, that compared to this,
yes,
you put a little pad on there or a bear skin, it does make it a little bit more comfortable.
Yep.
But as I say, guest chair, spare chair.
And that's something that you really need to look at, is the fold down size of these things, because some of the chairs, they are mega comfy, but when you start to pull them all together, it is a large item. Number 5.
Number 5. I would go power bank, battery pack, something to charge.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you...
How many times you go out with your phone?
You see, this is a difficult one because I agree with you and disagree with you.
Yeah.
So I couldn't live without a power bank now because I do the YouTubes.
Yeah.
However, as a beginner's setup, you've got your vehicle to charge things for your phone. You can have torch lights, you can have camp lights.
True.
That's a bit of a...
Okay.
It depends on your needs for that one, doesn't it? So I totally get what you're saying, and I love a good power bank.
Yeah. Okay.
But as a beginner for top 5.
One eternity later.
That's a difficult one there.
I'd say fire pit.
Fire pit, that can come under your cooking.
It can come under your cooking, but
If you get a good fire pit. But
like last night, we sat round there.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the Petromax Go fire pit, which is like a gasifier stove, and it burns well and it does kick out some heat. I've also got the Winnerwell stove with a kettle and the oven that sits on top, and that is an expensive item. That's like £850.
But this is a progression
but this
over
is where
the
you
years.
can work, where you can work to and go to.
So I've got the Ridge Monkey one, which that is not the most expensive, but it's not the cheapest, and for value for money and how flat it is, for a campsite where you're not allowed something on the floor.
But that's a good one as well, because you can use it with gas.
Yes.
Or coals or firewood.
Yes, that's why I like that so much.
So that is a good option. Yeah.
Because I've used that with the hot plate and the gas, so it's totally clean. There's no ash, there's no embers, there's no nothing.
Yeah.
And you can do it on top of a table because it doesn't put the heat down. But as well as that, we've also had it as a bit of a social thing where we've chucked a load of wood in there, and it's made a good little fire pit.
And just sat around, yeah.
Is it the hottest fire pit? No, you can't get it that hot because I'd be worried about warping it. Whereas that one, I would happily load that up. But all of this is a compromise between space, weight, cost, and so on.
I mean, we used to have a friend, Woody, and he used to make the Woody stove, and that was proper welded steel, and it was bomb-proof. But it was really, really heavy.
Yeah, they were really good. Yeah.
But in a vehicle, I mean, you don't mind carrying it, and as I say, you can get some good wood in there. You can cook on it.
What I used to find
a
with
good
that,
fire pit, yeah, a good number 5, a good fire pit. Yeah.
So at this point, my SD card decided it was going to totally fail. So thank you very much for Tiny for a walk around his discovery. I hope you had a couple of little ideas from this. And if you want to see more of the vehicle tours, check out the playlist.